Hi, my name is Matt Sanchez. You have entered my YouTube channel, The Beautiful Healing Truth, and this channel is all about educating people on how to live a healthier lifestyle utilizing plant-based foods, whole foods, juicing, and holistic methods. So let's jump into today's video. Today's video, I am going to focus on what I recommend if you are looking to heal any chronic pain in your body or inflammation. This is the green juice that I would recommend to start your day out with every single day. You can also do it multiple times a day. There's no end to it. But this green juice right here is my number one recommendation for deep intercellular hydration to move your lymphatic system, all your stagnant waste, hydrate your body, and so many more other properties, and we'll get into that. But I wanted to start by introducing everything that goes into this green juice and kind of what it does throughout the body. So here we go. In this particular juice recipe, we'll start with all the leafy greens, and then we'll get into the harder fruits and vegetables. So what we have here, and I'm going to actually go ahead and get it a little closer. But what you're looking at there is dandelion greens. And so dandelion greens are excellent. They're not only are they tasty, hydrating, full of minerals and everything, but they are primarily going to aid in detoxification of your liver. And liver is basically it's the filter on the human body that takes probably the most pounding, because it's filtering your alcohol, your recreational drugs, your pharmaceutical drugs, steroids, and anti-inflammatories from those pharmaceuticals. I mean, it takes a real big pounding. Also from our environment, all the spraying that's going on in the skies, full of the heavy metals and all that kind of stuff. So dandelion aids in detoxification of our liver, which is extremely important. So next we have parsley. And I guess I should have done this different. I could have done like an overview of everything, but hopefully that gets it okay. It's not like shoving it right in your guys' face. But parsley is another amazing detoxifier for our kidneys, which is, kidneys and liver are the two top detoxification organs in our body. Also our lungs and all that. But so the parsley is going to go towards detoxifying our kidneys, and that helps clean out any of that stored up waste that's producing the inflammation, the stagnation of all the lymphatic fluids, and along with being very fresh and body deodorizing as well. All of these are going to be very body deodorizing. Any green that you're going to put in your body is high in chlorophyll, high in oxygen, high in minerals. So you get your cilantro, you get your parsley, you get your mint, you get your dill. Those are all extremely deodorizing and antimicrobial in your body. So you cannot go wrong with any of these greens. You can feel free to mix and match anything that you see in this video. This is kind of just typically what I tend to lean towards on a daily basis. So dandelion, parsley, and then the next green powerhouse, which I kind of touched base a little bit on, would be our cilantro. And cilantro, it's a hit and miss with a lot of people. Either you love it, I've heard, or you hate it. I've always loved it. I've never seen the negative side of the taste of it. A lot of people don't like it, say it tastes a little soapy. But it's extremely tasty to me, and in a juice with all these greens and apples and everything else is really, really flavorful. Also body deodorizing, really nice. Freshens your breath as well. It's good for your gums and teeth health. But what cilantro is really, really known for is heavy metal detoxification. So I touched on it with the airplanes and what they're raining down on us on the daily. Especially here in Idaho, it's a relentless grid in the sky of heavy metals, and there's just no way you can avoid it. But what you can do is keep very diligent about detoxifying all those heavy metals. including with the tap water as well. I made a video, my last video I made on, don't drink the tap water, full of heavy metals. So cilantro is excellent for pulling all those heavy metals out and getting them out of your tissues. And I highly recommend adding that in as well. Next we have, we have kale. And this is the dinosaur or lacinato kale, or sometimes they call it Italian kale, I guess. But bunch of different names, but any of the deep dark green, any of the kale varieties, but the deep dark green ones I particularly like. I like the dinosaur kale the best. So kale is super rich in minerals. I mean, it's gonna be feeding your body at the deep intercellular level. It starts from the inside out, and it really just rebuilds all your cells. And so you're gonna want to involve kale in any of your daily juicing regimens. And you can just, if you didn't have access to any of these and you just had kale, throw kale in with some apples, juice up apple juice and kale, and drink it back, and you're gonna be heavy mineralized, and very hydrated and very cleansed. And so yeah, I highly recommend utilizing kale as well. So yeah, heavy minerals, it will rebuild tissues and your cells. And so the last of the, well, I guess this is not a leafy green, but this is more of a hard green. So we'll get into the hard greens now. So you're looking at a good bunch of celery. And now celery, everybody has probably heard by now, the craze of the celery cleanse and all that kind of stuff. It's funny. Nature's been here this whole time, and we just now have started discovering, in the last 15, 20 years, if you drink just celery juice or any of these kind of stuff, it's marvelous and miraculous, does amazing things in your body. It's like, that's what Mother Earth has always provided for us. We were born on this planet with every single food and medicine for mankind ready to go, and easy to pick. We don't have to, use a gun or an arrow, or, we don't have to hunt anything down and take its life to thrive and live healthy. There's abundance. Look outside. You go outside and you look, pretty much everything you see out there in nature, not everything, but can be edible. The greens, the grass. A lot of people say, you're going to turn to plant-based diet. You're just going to eat what? You're going to go eat your lawn and all that stuff. And it's like, well, you can eat it for sure. Yeah, go eat some grass. Hopefully it's not sprayed with any herbicides, atrazine, or glyphosate or anything like that. But if it was just fresh, yeah, go outside and eat some grass. Go outside and eat some leaves off of a plant or a bush. But anyways, I'm getting off topic. But so anyway, celery is incredible for hydrating our body. You're going to hydrate it at the deep intercellular level, just along with all these other fruits and vegetables. But it also helps soothe any tissue irritation and joint pain as well. So it's anti-inflammatory. All of these are anti-inflammatory, but each one has a pretty nice specific thing that it does throughout the body. And celery is a powerhouse by itself, especially. But in a green juice like this, it's just a nice addition, and provides you with salts that you cannot get anywhere else on the earth, only in celery. It's super unique. So highly recommend putting it in any of your green juices or fruit juices. Next, we have cucumbers. And the cucumbers are amazing for the skin. They're going to be very hydrating. They're probably, I think it's watermelon and cucumbers are the highest in water, which is distilled structured water. It's nature's most perfect water that you can consume. Coconuts, watermelon, cucumbers, any fruit you see here, those are all nature's distilled structured water, full of biophotons that feed all of our body cells. So really good for skin health, that helps your glow, and really good natural diuretic properties. So yeah, incorporate cucumber in all of your juices, or you can even do a straight up cucumber juice just like you do with celery. It's phenomenal. All of this is gonna bring intense amounts of oxygen through your body, and alkalining all your cells and tissues and everything else. So, and then last we have, well, second to last, here's a lemon. We all know that citrus is known for its vitamin C, which lemon is super high in vitamin C as well. But it also basically it like turns on the light switch to activate your immune system. It's super energizing, super healing, cleansing, and it helps with anti-inflammatory properties as well. So, and it's great tasting. Who doesn't love lemon in any of their juices or water for that fact? And then last you have our apples. And the apples are going to provide a lot of the calories in the juice. Greens don't carry a whole lot of calories. Their weight is carried in minerals, which is extremely important. But apples have a lot of calories, a lot of fruit sugar. It's going to keep you going all day long. And but so apples are responsible for fiber pectin, which is amazing for helping cleanse the gut. Apples are extremely cleansing, and as we all know, or you may not know, but apples cleansing our gut, and our gut is responsible for basically the beginning of inflammation and the ending of inflammation. So if you can incorporate apples into your diet, primarily I would say in the form of juicing, because it's going to help you flush out our whole GI tract. And when you flush out your gut, now you flush away all that inflammation, which we know inflammation is the cause of all of our diseases. I like to always call it diseases because I don't think, there are these mysterious diseases lurking out there and they're attacking us from outside in. I believe that we are consuming our sicknesses, our colds, our flus, our inflammation, our heart disease, our strokes, Crohn's, colitis, you name it, all across the board. Any little things, headaches, sore throats, all of that kind of stuff. We have to take responsibility for our health. And there's a lot of cognitive dissonance in this area, and people don't want to believe that something that they've been consuming so passively their whole life has been causing their sicknesses, their illnesses, all their pain, their joint pain, their inflammation, all across the board. 95, I think it's probably higher, but 95% we're responsible for doing to our bodies. And so I know there's a lot of outwardly environmental toxins, like I said, from the airplanes. I mean, you can't stop that. Nobody's getting away from that. The Roundup that all of our neighbors spray on their lawns, these lawns that are worthless, they don't do anything. They don't provide soil regeneration. They don't, you look at your neighbor's yard, it should be full of fruit trees and, berry bushes and everything. Food. It should be a food forest in your front yard and in your backyard. But we're wasting all that space because we want to, keep up with the Joneses and have a nice tight mowed lawn. So, but yeah, we're adding, pesticides, chemicals, fertilizers into the environment. So we're now unable to avoid the toxic overload in our society. So that is why I come on here and I try to motivate and I try to educate everybody on the simple steps that we could all take to improve our health one juice at a time. So here we go. Let's get down to juicing the anti-inflammatory and reducing the chronic inflammation green juice. I got to come up with like a good name for it. I don't know. All the good names are taken, but here we go. Anyways, so I'm using the Nama J2 juicer. It's a cold press juicer. This one's super convenient for, putting all the ingredients in, turning it on, walking away, and it will do the juicing for you as you go. There's a lot of great juicers out there. I always recommend the slow masticating juicers, cold pressed. You want it to be slow turning so it's not creating a lot of heat or oxygen in the process where it's mostly just squeezing it. You can also get the Omega juicer. It does the same. It's a single auger. They have the Norwalk, they used to have the Norwalk. They're out of business now, but it's now the Pure, which is the same, which pretty much is the exact same model. It's a cold press juicer. It'll press the juice at around 2,000 pounds, and really extract all those good nutrients with no heat whatsoever. So anyways, do your very best with whatever juicer you have. Even if you have the old, high spinning centrifugal juicers, the best thing that you can do is if you do own one of those, is that if that's all you have, juice that all and then drink it right away, because those will produce a lot of oxidation, put a lot of oxygen in your juice, and you want to reduce that because that will degenerate your juice very rapidly. So if you're going to juice with one of those, you're going to want to drink it within 5, 10, 15 minutes. With anything like this cold press juicer, the Nama J2, I batch juice and I seal it up nice and tight with the ball jars. Silicone lid on the inside. You don't want any of those, plastics, BPA or PVC or any of that kind of garbage. That will leach right into your juice. So I go ahead and seal it up all the way to the top. I don't allow any oxygen in there. Get it nice and tight. I even like to let it overflow a little bit to get that real super suction on there. And that will last 3 days. You can stretch it to 4. I don't recommend going that long, but 3 days in the fridge, that will stay as fresh as right when you juiced it. So let's get into it. Here we go. So yeah, I like to start by adding a couple apples in at first, just to kind of give a good juicy base at the bottom. And then what I'll do is I'll add the leafy greens kind of in the middle, and then on the top, I'll add some more apples to kind of help push it down and give it some weight and kind of just get the juices going. And when the greens get in there, they're not really that juicy as they are with the fruits. So it will kind of help push all the greens through there. So I like to also cut up. I know they say you don't need to with the Nama, but I like to cut everything up just really quick, pre-cut it. It doesn't take very long. That helps it just work a little bit less hard for the juicer. And a lot of the times, especially with the leafy greens, it can kind of get wrapped up around the agar ball in there, and you want to kind of avoid that and just keep the juice flowing. So a lot of the times I won't even use a knife, and I'll just kind of combine everything and just start cutting it. So at this point, it doesn't matter. Laying it out for the camera so you can see exactly what I use in there, that's one thing, and making it look nice. But when you're getting ready down to juice, throw it in there. It doesn't really matter. Either way you're going to do it, it's all going to get juiced. And really the end result is just getting it in your body and having it help break up all those coagulations and all the stagnant, lymphatic fluids, all that waste matter that have been sitting in there for who knows how long, if you've been eating any animal products or highly cooked, highly processed foods of the standard varieties. So, but no judgments here. Shoot, I was a part of that whole system for 35 years of my life. It took me 35 years to really finally wake up to the truth about, hey, we're really consuming our own diseases. And and this is me talking to myself at the time, if you want to, be present for your children, you want to be an active parent, a good role model, it's time to start making a change. And I looked at myself in the mirror and had that conversation and said, okay, there's no time like right now. And I never looked back. So best decision I've made in my life, other than, having children and having a beautiful family. And yeah, but one goes with the other. Health goes with raising and nurturing a healthy, loving family. And not that you can't have that, but I tell you what, from what I've learned on the opposite side of having that with a family that you care for and love so dearly, there's no better combination. So anyways, I'll quit rambling. Here we go. Oh, I'm going to need to... This is my makeshift Organite plate that I have to hold the lid down with, because I got the lid replaced, but I think I've overwashed the Nama J, which I don't think you're supposed to in the dishwasher, and it kind of warped it. So now I have to hold down the lid that activates the auger with my Organite charging plate that my buddy Dave Molador who's from the Organized Earth on YouTube and the Organized Earth, I believe, on Instagram. Oh no, I'm sorry. Truth is the Golden Rule on Instagram, and the Organized Earth on YouTube. But he makes fantastic Organite, and you research Organite if you don't know what that is. I won't go into it here, but it's highly crucial in an environment with so many EMFs that we're exposed to nowadays. 5G towers, our cell phones, TVs, you know, and now our cars with all the Teslas. You're basically sitting on a 5G tower when you're driving in one of those Teslas. But anyways, research Organite and what it does for your health and what it can do for our environment by changing up the ether and taking a aggressive, angry, negative energy in the air from all that EMF activity, and then encapsulating it, spinning it through its aura field, and producing positive, healthy ether or energy around us. So, yeah, research that and give that a good go. I had it. First time I heard about Organite was about 5-6 years ago, and my mind was blown. So it's a whole holistic, healthy, whole body health system with the juices, the green juices, the fruit, the whole fruits, the living foods, Organite, grounding outside, barefoot in nature, going up, being in the forest with the trees, deep breathing all those essential oils, from those trees. And that's what the forest, why you go on a hike and you feel so wonderful. You're out in nature and yeah, you get oxygen, of course. You get all that exercise, which, is euphoric for your body. It's pumping all that blood throughout your body. But in the forest, and I just recently learned of this, you're feeling extra good as well because of all of the essential oils that all the plants are putting off. So, when you're thinking, hey, I wonder, how do they get these, essential oils? Well, let's look at all of them. They're herbs, right? They're from lemons. They're from, all aspects of plants out in nature. And it's like, well, of course they're gonna embody that. That's where we get them from. And so we're inhaling that, on a concentrated level out in the forest. So you're feeling good. You're feeling euphoric. You feel, energized and vibrant, and the vibration and the frequencies out in the nature, there's nothing like it. And it has to do with so many things, but you are inhaling all those essential oils the whole time you're hiking. So I think it's a really cool thing that I never knew about, and we're always learning. So I've been in the health field for now 9 years, and I've been doing it all on myself. On my body. I've been, experimenting on myself, not alone. I've had a lot of help along the way and a lot of partners in crime figuring it out along the way, knowing nothing to doing a lot of research to then implementing it. And before implementing it, just like taking that leap and just being like, hey man, is this real? Can this really be true? It made sense to us on paper and looking at all the, research and videos and what other people have done, like John Rose and Dan McDonald, Norman Walker. You have so many greats out there who have actually done this stuff, done the work on themselves. And when I say, partners in crime, my brother, number one, was with me every step of the way, So we learned together. We learned from each other. We still are. It's a whole lifelong journey of exploration of your own body, of your mind, your outlook on everything. You get into something like this, where you start clearing away all that mental fog from all of those highly processed oils and cooked foods, unnatural foods for our body that we're not supposed to eat. And now we can eat them because we have started cooking our food. And so you start clearing away all that fog and all the debris and all the all the lymphatic sludge and all the stagnant waste in your colon, and you start, getting clean. The oxygen flows better in your body. Thoughts start, improving. Your outlook on everything starts to get a lot more. You get a lot more patient. You start understanding things differently, and it really starts breaking free your understanding of how this world starts working and how our bodies function in this world on the proper diet, amongst other things. But it's a trip. You get into all that, then you start getting to the juicing, then you start getting to the juice fasting, the juice detoxification, cleaning out your body, and then you think, hey, I've arrived. I can't experience anymore. This is great. Then you start getting into the water fasting. And this is all stuff that I've implemented into my whole regimen within the last year. I've only started just beginning at the very beginning stages of water fasting. And people might say, well, yeah, but you did, you've done 2 7-day water fasts, a handful of 3-day water fasts, and a long 12-day water fast. That's the infancy to me. I mean, we have our whole lives that, we've been told to dedicate to God, really. And through that whole dedication to truly understand and know and have the feeling of God's presence in your life is to clear away all the clutter. And I'm talking about even in the raw foods too. You get to that point where you now are no longer on the standard American diet. Okay, great. You've come over to the plant-based game. That's even better. Now you start getting more hydrated and energized, clean, and healthy. You start clearing up some of those little aches and pains and all that kind of stuff. And then you start going on the juice game, like I said, the juice detoxing, and you don't think you can keep getting any cleaner until you really dive deep and you get into the water fasting game. And I'll tell you, there is nothing that I've done in this health regiment and this health game that I've been a part of in the last 9 years that even comes close to the experiences I've had on water fasting. You can talk all you want about it. You can explain to people all about it, but to truly get the whole experience, you need to actually dive in and truly experience it for yourself, because it is different for everybody, and every water fast is completely different too. I've done, like I said, probably half a dozen water fasts, and I've had powerful experiences on 7-day water fasts, and I've had, equally powerful but different experiences on 3-day water fasts, and completely different experience on my 12-day water fast. So some are very, very spiritual. Some are really intense and you don't feel very good. Others are very easy and you shed an incredible amount of weight. And I'm talking toxicity weight, which is the good kind of weight that you want to shed, because all the toxins store up in our fat cells. We really think that if we have a gut a lot of the times, or a tire and everything, that's we got a lemon hung up here real quick. Oh, actually, you know what? I got another apple I could probably push through, kind of dislodge that lemon, but I'll make sure that it gets juiced. You don't want to miss out on any of that. But as I was saying, so if you have the weight stored on your body anywhere, a lot of the times that's not pure fat. I mean, that is a lot of the times mostly toxins stored up in our fat tissues. So you start shedding all of those toxins and you're starting to trim up and everything. A lot of people think you're just dropping body fat. It's not. It's more importantly the lymphatic sludge that actually is, acid forming and acid burning, and it burns your tissues, causing tumors, and which people think are cancer. And you get rid of all that and you start, easing up on all those ailments and aches and pains and, negative thoughts and depression, etc. So anyways, I kind of rambled on. So this video was about a green juice, and it will end with the green juice, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about the whole holistic experience approach that it involves. So anyways, I think we're at about, yeah, I think we're there. I think we're right at 32 ounces. I'm going to go ahead and get this off. Now, a lot of the times in the Nama, you don't get a true pure juice. You kind of have to, it comes, the pulp kind of gets through there sometimes. It's a great juicer, but you still need to use a strainer if you want that pure juice with no soluble fiber. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of give this strainer a little rockin'. I don't want to strain too much because a lot of the stuff that comes through is pretty oxygenated. So I think we're good right there. And I'm going to go ahead and just, yeah, that was all foamy fiber. So, okay, here we go. Hopefully the camera captures this pretty good, but here's the green juice. Come show the camera. Look at that sweetness. Tons of minerals, tons of sugar, anti-inflammatory properties. It's gonna zap that chronic pain, those headaches, those gut issues, and it's gonna give you lots of energy. Great hydration. So I'm gonna go ahead and try this real quick just to make sure it's up to my standards, which, yeah. Oh boy. Woo! I tell you what, you get into a routine of the green juice game, at least even once, first thing in the morning, you do this over a few weeks, and then you add another one at lunchtime. You replace those meals. You start replacing your old meals, your old habits with new ones, new positive, high hydrating, dense mineral activity, biophoton. This food is alive. I mean, you consume it, the sun produces it, Mother Earth grows it, we cold press juice it, it's living food right into our bodies. Our cells absorb all that. You are going to emanate life. When you take in life, you are going to feel alive. You're going to feel energetic. You're going to want to get up. You're going to want to get up early. You're going to want to get up early and work out. You're going to go on long walks. You're just going to want to live a life full of abundance and gratitude. And I'm telling you, this is exactly what this brings you. So I wish everybody out there who's watching this video the very best of health. Get your green juice on. Start implementing it, even if it's slowly. If you need some help and if you want to do something a little bit more aggressive and you want to dive straight into it, please reach out to me for a consultation. You can email me at thebeautifulhealingtruth@gmail.com. You can message me on YouTube, Facebook, Facebook groups, Instagram, and Telegram if you have a Telegram. So yeah, I wish you all the very best of health. Go and get your green juice on and enjoy your lives. God bless all of you out there, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks.